What's up, you guys? Happy Monday to everybody. Listen, come on in, come on in, come on in. Let's just talk about the hot topic. But before we get into that, make sure you guys are getting your Black Girl vitamins. Again, they have vitamins for a little bit of everything you need right now for any age. Okay. We have the sea moss, and we've got the probiotics, and we've got collagen, and we have PCOS, and we have menopause, and child, whatever you need, Black Girl Vitamins has it. Use your discount code ReallyBTV. Head on over to the Black Girl Vitamin. The link is in the chat. And use my discount code for 20% off your first order. Again, I want to thank you to everybody that has been supporting me with the Black Girl Vitamins. And yes, I use them myself. Okay, you can look at all my unboxings on my channel. Hi, y'all. Let's get into some things, y'all. Let's go ahead and get into some things today. Did I have the wrong time set? Because Chuck came in and was like, did she mean did she mean 3:15? I mean 6:30 or 6:45? My bad. My bad if I they have one of days as well. You know what? I think I need the men all pause pills. Y'all come on in. Hey Ray, how you doing, boy? I ain't seen you in a while. I know you've been over there causing trouble over there on the other side, honey. I know you have been. So y'all come on in. Listen, I'm going to drop the link. But let me get my 2 cents out first. Which y'all know my 2 cents. If y'all been watching my reviews, y'all know my 2 cents. But let me just reiterate it. We are on both channels. So whatever Really Be TV channel you are subscribed to, you should be on in here. And we will be going on the Whether You Like It or Not panel tonight is at Yarrell's place. If one of my mods could drop his link in the chat just in case people aren't subscribed, even though everybody should be subscribed to all of the members of the Whether You Like It or Not panel. So I am not here to rehash everything. If you watch The Real Housewives of Atlanta, child, you know what happened. I really just want to open up the panel and let everybody, let me get my mic. I want to just open up the panel and give everybody an opportunity to share how they feel. Now, look, I'm going to be honest. I do have an opinion on this one. Sometimes I try to be unbiased, but I have an opinion on this one, and I just feel the way I feel. But I do not want that to make anybody feel like they can't come up and share, share how they feel. Okay. No, 8:30 on time. Y'all don't do the ish. It's ish when it's the rest of us. But when y'all is hosting, it is 8:30. And he will go live without us. Okay. We'll just have to jump in and get in where we fit in. Okay. No, Cajun, because I don't even want to hear what you have to say. But I will say this: we are going. Last time I opened the panel, we all did really well. Everybody was respectful. Everybody got a chance to say their piece. Even if we disagree respectfully, and that is all I ask. I ask that you give everybody an opportunity to speak. I ask that you guys are respectful to people's opinions. And if we're going to disagree respectfully, that's all I ask. That's all I ask. If I have to put a time limit on it, I ask y'all to be mindful of y'all time. I know some of us get long-winded, myself included. So that's why I'm very lenient because I know I'm long-winded. Okay. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and drop this link. And anybody who wants to come up and share how they feel, we're going to let them share how they feel. I say I'll stay here for about an hour. That's why I'm not even doing no long intro. I'm going to stay here for about an hour or until people stop clicking the link. If nobody have anything to say, then we ain't going to say much, right? So I'm going to just go on and click the link. Again, you do not have to show your face on camera, but I do have to verify backstage that you are a real person. So just turn your camera off. So I can see your face, and then I'll let you guys up. If somebody's talking, I'll bring the person up, but I'll put a overlay up. So in case it is somebody trying to, do something crazy, it won't be on screen. So I try not to interrupt people if they're talking. So that's why sometimes y'all see me just put the overlay up if somebody's backstage and I want to bring them up. Okay. But while we wait for people to click the link, let me just say this. I saw something today that had like a justice for Kenya, and it had like duct tape over her mouth, and it was like justice for Kenya. And I guess I'm not quite sure what the justice for Kenya is. Do I feel like production dropped the ball the week before, and there should have been more done as it relates to Brit? Yes. And I said that last week when that episode aired. I said production dropped the ball and production was dead as wrong for not addressing Kenya's concerns. Now, I've heard through the grapevine that Kenya did go to production. And I'm going to say this. I even heard Andy talk about it today on his radio show. And Andy was even, let me see if I can find it. Andy was even, in my opinion, downplaying what Britt did. And, I think it's real easy for people to downplay something until something happens. It's real easy. People be downplaying stuff until something happens. Then all of a sudden, it's, oh, we shoulda, coulda, woulda. Let me see if I can find it. Was it the Bravo chat room? Where was it that they were playing the audio? Bravo on cocktails. Of course, I'm going to find every Bravo page except for the one I'm looking for. It wasn't on his channel. No, it wasn't. Oh, Lord, y'all filling up the back. Okay, hold on, y'all. Hey, Nikki. Hey, Jake. I see you guys backstage. I just need to see y'all face, and I'll bring y'all up. Nikki, I know you come up before, but I've had people use somebody. All right, I see y'all. Go ahead and turn y'all cameras on. Okay, I'm going to let y'all come up while I find what I'm looking for. Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. How y'all doing this Monday?
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Nikki.
Hey, what's going on? Yeah.
Nothing much, nothing much. What you got? I'll start with ladies first. I'll start with Nikki and then I'll let JT say his piece.
Okay, I'm gonna make this quick and drop down so because I know you got other people waiting. Um, Kenya, she played herself, unfortunately. I do feel like what she did was fine with me, except for the time and location. She should have just invited the ladies over to her house, maybe, and had Britt come and just embarrass the hell out of her there. But to say that you pay people dust and take your entire event to acknowledge this person who had actually left, it was so hard to watch. I was just really cringing for Kenya because she just really embarrassed herself. But that's all I have. Thank you for the platform. Y'all have a good night. In the
Thank you.
comment.
Thank you. Tierra said, I've never seen people have so much empathy for sex workers until now. I'm not even understanding what that statement even means. Did we know that Britt Eady is a sex worker? And why wouldn't people have empathy or sympathy for a sex worker? Just because somebody is a sex worker doesn't mean that they, what happened to Britt was okay. I don't know what the connection is, but I hear you, boo. JT and then Bat, what's up?
Okay. Hey, what's going on?
What's up?
So I'll start off. I'm definitely a Kenya Moore fan. So, out of all the housewives, like she's my favorite housewife out of any franchise. So I'll start off with that. So I might be a little biased, but um, I'll say this.
Okay.
I think that I will say this though. I think for her, even for her, it seemed a little out of line, even for her. Like it seemed like I don't know, like she just went all the way. Like I was like, I was there, I was cringing. Like, okay, yeah, is she really doing all this? But I think what it was is that this girl came on there. She's threatening her with a gun, and she was first off. She may have been, kind of nervous, but I think she was more insulted. Like, okay, this girl is really coming on this show, trying to outstage me or upstage me or whatever. And then she went to production. I feel they didn't do anything about it. They pretty made her seem like, oh, she's a black Karen. She's making too much of this. And that's the one thing I didn't like. I didn't like how everybody else was trying to, even Cynthia now is doing all these interviews, trying to downplay what Brit did, but then trying to make it like, oh, Kenya was so bad. No, they both were bad, and they both should have been reprimanded. That's the only thing I feel. I definitely feel like Kenya went too far. She should have been reprimanded because it's like you did too much, and that could put the whole company at at legal trouble as well. But I feel that they both should have been reprimanded. Even I was on Twitter earlier and I saw an interview that Andy did today, and he was downplaying. Oh, yeah, she did say something about a gun, but I just think that she was just,
That's the
just
clip I'm
talking
looking
crap.
for.
Yeah,
Yep,
that
that's
she
the,
was just
that's
It's
the
on
talking
the
clip I'm
crap.
looking
neighborhood
for.
talk.
Yeah, and I'm just like, how you downplaying that, but then you making it out, oh, well, Kenya did this, and it was just so, just so egregious or whatever and stuff. No, they both were wrong, and they both should have been reprimanded. And then I feel like Kenya was pissed off, like, oh, y'all not gonna do nothing to this girl? Okay, well, I'm gonna have to get her myself, and I'm gonna go all the way in. But it just backfired, and I feel like it just really backfired on her, and it just made her look. And like you did this at your event, it just backfired. And like I said, I feel like the production, they don't like Kenya. That's what I do. I feel like that production, they don't like her. And I don't know. I'll say this: I don't know if they edited it to make it look like that, but it didn't look good. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if she'll be. Hopefully she'll come back next season. Hopefully she'll come to the reunion at least. I just feel like you let everybody else tell her side of the story. You didn't even give her any confessionals so she can kind of tell her side of tell how she was feeling. So I just feel like that wasn't fair. And y'all capitalizing off of her because this is the biggest story of the season. So you're capitalizing, y'all making money off of her, but y'all not even letting her tell her side of the story. So I don't feel like that was fair either.
I hear you. I
Hmm.
hear you. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay,
Well, that's
back.
that's all I want.
Thank you, boo.
All
I
right.
appreciate you.
All right.
Back.
Then. Bye.
Yeah, that video you looking for is on the neighborhood talk.
Thank you.
You welcome. Um, this whole thing just kind of blew my mind, to be honest, because at first they were saying that Britt didn't say anything about a weapon. So I was like, okay, Kenya is just completely in the wrong. Then you hear Britt clearly saying what she said, and it's like, okay, she was acting like a crazy person. One, her reaction was completely unjustified based off of what Kenya was doing. And then she goes ahead and like didn't directly threaten her, but you know what she was saying was very clear, right? So I felt like at that point they probably shouldn't have had Britt on the show. But you keep her, whatever. Kenya comes back, talks about all this legacy for her daughter and all that sort of stuff, how she put almost $500,000 into this salon, and then she just throws it all down the drain over that lady. It's like, why would you do that to yourself?
I'm gonna let y'all hear. I thank you, Tracy. Tracy sent me the link. And thank you back for letting me know where it was. Tracy was sending me the link just as I was getting ready to go.
Oh, okay.
But I'm gonna let y'all hear what Andy said because I felt like Andy was very dismissive of what Britt did the week before. So I'm gonna let y'all hear what Andy said.
Kenya gets
Okay.
up and makes her whole opening about
Oh wait a
someone
minute, hold
came
on.
after me. What happened is that Britt made a comment at the end of last week's episode, like, I have a gun and a whip or something like that. I saw that. And on this week's episode, they all said to Britt that you can't say that shit. And she was like, yeah, you're right. Whatever. She shows up to Kenya's opening of her gorgeous salon, which is beautiful, that Kenya has worked so hard on, that she dedicated to her daughter. And it's this big event, opening it with all these people there. And Britt comes in and brings her flowers and says, I want to apologize to you, and a note. And Kenya totally ignores her, like totally. And Britt's like, okay, I'm just going to leave these here. And Britt leaves. And then Kenya gets up and makes her whole opening about someone came after me and they shouldn't have. And I started looking into who this woman is, and this is who she is. And she starts showing pictures of her. Or like poster board that she printed out. And this is like one of the pictures is revenge porn type. Yes. Okay. One of the pictures is her like oral sexing. Yeah. And the Atlanta Housewives are like, we're.
So here's my problem. My problem is, and I understand. Listen, I understand why Andy is doing what Andy's doing, right? I understand why they're downplaying it. Because again, there are legal ramifications for this. So and I'm not saying listen, when I say I understand, that doesn't mean I agree. Because I don't think that you should downplay, because again, God forbid, like, we don't know Brit. We don't know Brit. We don't know this woman. We don't know where she comes from. So at the end of the day, she may very well have said what she meant and meant what she said.
And her reaction wasn't the type of reaction the same person would have had. So I would have been side-eyeing the heck out of her.
Yeah. Yeah. So I didn't like the fact that they're downplaying it, because, again, I still don't think it justifies what Kenya did. But we're not going to sit here and act like Kenya didn't have a right to be upset.
But see, the problem that I have with Kenya in that particular aspect also is, okay, Andy is downplaying things, Bravo is downplaying things, right? But Kenya's own action put them in the position to do that, because as of last episode, Kenya would have won. She was the person who had the upper hand in this back and forth between her and Britt. Exactly. And because she decided to sit here and do what she did this episode, she just lost all her cards. It's like, why would you do that? Kenya's smarter than that.
We thought.
Well, yeah, we thought.
Yep. Little baby, what's up, babe?
Sorry, I was eating.
It's okay.
Pretty much I echo the sentiments of everyone. We can all say 2 wrongs don't make a right.
I see you. I'm sorry. Somebody's backstage. I see you. You can turn your camera off. You want to keep your camera on, sir? I'm sorry.
We can say 2 wrongs don't make a right. And I am going to sit on the side that Kenya did too much at her salon event. It should have been about her salon event. As you all see, we're not talking about the salon. We're not talking about the hair show. We're not talking about any services that she offers at that salon. We're talking about that last piece that was shown on television.
And it looks like up until that point, it was a really nice event.
Yeah, it was a really nice event. And you could tell she spent money on that opening. So yeah, I'm going to sit on Kenya. That was dumb of you to do, especially in that moment. It was a beautiful day, a beautiful event. Everyone was happy. You had a great crowd, great publicity, whole 9. And you really messed yourself up, because you not only missed out on engagement from viewers in conjunction with engagement online, you just now have your online, which you're barely doing anything with. Like, you're not really promoting your salon like that. But as others have stated, for production and for Bravo to not take Britt's threats as serious as they did, I don't give a damn if Britt did not have a weapon in her hand and she did not brandish a weapon. Whenever an employee of yours comes to you with a concern that grave, it is your job as the company to quote unquote protect yourself, because that's the whole purpose of the HR department, to protect the company. You all should have done a thorough investigation, a better investigation than you all did. And to just say, oh, well, girl, it's whatever. Don't take, just let it roll off your back. She just talking. Kenya don't know that lady. And if we go back and look at the situation, didn't they already pull up talking about we in a sketchy neighborhood and where are we? They don't know Brit. They don't know who Brit know. And Brit out is the only one outside yelling like a banshee. You see other people pulling up like, yo, this is kind of crazy. Angela, with her forked tongue self, saying the owner of the establishment was like, do I need to get extra security?
Right, right.
Like, to be like that, that should just be taken lightly. I think Bravo really needs a hard slap on the wrist. None of this would have ever transpired had they nipped that in the bud immediately. Instead, they had Britt go on this affirmation fishing tour where she went to all the other cast members to get confirmation that it was just a little bit of steam she blew off. And all she got to do is show up with some flowers and it's all over with. No. You should have checked it right then. So
Yes, because Kenya wasn't there. Britt wasn't even there when the picture got shown.
Yeah,
exactly.
Kenya was gonna do that. Kenya was gonna do that no matter what.
Yeah. But that also leads me to this. I absolutely believe production did have a hand in those photos. Maybe they did give Kenya the photos anonymously. Um, maybe they did it. But one thing that has been constant with production,
I don't think they
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 know
didn't do
about
that.
stuff, and they don't check it. For instance, if we flash back when Kenya came out the house in that Native American costume for that Halloween party, and it wasn't until viewers got upset that now you won't be able to see that episode in its original form. You're going to get Kenya clipped out of it. You're going to get voiceovers, and you're going to get a a, a a warning or whatever. So I do not doubt that production knew about those boards, saw those boards, and really didn't take anything seriously. I didn't see no cameras cut. I didn't see nobody like, yo, Kenya, this is too much. I didn't see no one from production do that. They everything kept rolling. I saw the crowd, I saw the cast, but production was like, it's just another beautiful day in the neighborhood.
They wanted that footage.
Exactly.
I was
Can
gonna
I
say,
So
say something real
and
quick?
to be fair, they don't. The people with the cameras in their hand don't decide when to stop filming. It's the same way
Right.
when there's a fight. It's the same way when something embarrassing happens, somebody falls or something. They don't. They stop rolling when the director on set or whoever the supervisor is on set tells them to stop rolling. So that wasn't on them to stop the cameras. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not what they. That's not their job.
Can I say
but
something real quick and then I'm gonna hop down?
And then yeah, because Mims has been one way, yeah.
Okay. I see the comments saying that Kenya wasn't really scared and all that sort of stuff, right? Maybe she wasn't scared. I don't agree. I agree that maybe she wasn't scared or truly threatened. But at the end of the day, that doesn't negate the fact that that lady said what she said. So she should have faced repercussions just like Kenya did. That's the only thing that I wanted to say.
Thank you, Boo.
All right.
Mims, my Pakistani princess. What you got to say? Hey JB, what's up, Boo?
uh, I mean, I think everybody's making a valid point, and at the end of the day, if you like Kenya, then you will bend like a pretzel to defend her. If you don't like her, this is an easy one.
Mm-hmm.
She effed up. I'm just like, I'm not in tune with this cast. I don't even cover this anymore. I watched these episodes and I was just like, this is not interesting. Like when Kelly was glazing over the fact that she talked about the pow pow, that's not a friend. Like if it were me and in any situation, whether I'm at work, whether I'm out with friends, whether I'm just at a club or something, if anybody talks about brandishing a weapon, I'm going to take that seriously. You don't have to see me sweat for me not to take something like that seriously. Period. I
Exactly.
don't like that is you don't tell me you got a pow pow. If you're telling me
Exactly.
you have it, that is a threat.
It
And
absolutely is a threat. And I don't understand anybody that says they don't think it's a threat but go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was actually talking to Gabor about this earlier, and I was looking at the more of the peripheral characters. We already see what happened, and we already see Kenya was wrong, and we already see Britt was wrong. But I'm looking at Big Face Kelly. Now, you literally are a victim of horrible, horrible domestic violence. What psychologically is still impacting you that somebody threatens physical violence with a weapon and you glaze over it? Like that's a discussion. You said you were sleeping in the closet because this man was physically violent towards you, and yet you don't actually know Britt Eady that well, and you are going out on a limb saying that's not her personality. She didn't mean it. As a victim of domestic violence, how do you fix your mouth to say that about somebody you don't know? You married a man and you did not know he was horrible to you. You get what I'm saying? Like that
Mhm.
that in itself bothers me. something is still not right about a situation where anybody has a weapon or gets violent and you defend them. How do you do that?
I feel like a lot of people, I feel the same way. I think a lot of people defend stuff that I'm like, what? Like, what are we doing now? Like, we're defending what? So I hear you on that. Like, I feel the same way. Like, why? What? So yeah. Because
And then
again, I feel
uh
like for all, no, I'm just saying again, for all the people that are like, I don't think it's a threat. I just don't, I don't understand how people don't feel like it's a threat. But you know, it is what it is.
and then on top of that, Pinch knows you are going around to each of these people, and it's your job to kind of stir up shit. I get it. But this is a real conversation. And
Who are
in
you
the
calling pinch
conversation,
nose?
what's her name?
Ain't but
I
one
don't
person.
know. Who are you
Huh?
talking about? I see you, Diva. You
She got
can turn
like
your
the
camera on.
she got the Latoya Jackson nose. I don't know. Angela.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, you are throwing Brit under the bus because you put that question in there. Like, anybody who watches this show knows that Kenya has been on her best behavior.
She really has been.
And any, person with a tenured career, you can take 3 questions back to back. I'll give her that. But when I'm sitting there and I'm listening to people, and the woman Angela is saying, well, I put it in there not because I believe it, but because my friend feels this way. I was affirming my friend's feelings. What the F is that? You put in a messy question and you started this, and then when it comes to you to say, hey, yeah, I feel this way, you dial it back and say, well, I only said it because that's how she felt. If you didn't see it, why would you put that question in there?
I still think that came from production, but if she want to take credit for it, fine.
You get what I'm saying, though? Like,
Yeah, no, I agree. No,
you
I agree because that's why I was
then you're
like,
going to
that's just
Kenya and saying,
weird.
I understand. I understand. What do you understand? Are you not getting enough oxygen to your brain? Because this stuff is not really computing. You put a messy question in there. Okay, got it. Then it turns into something more. The people are telling you they felt they needed added security because you have some old, never was video vixen threatening pow pow violence, and everybody is glazing over it. So either production is not actually adequately showing us these conversations so that they can paint Kenya as the ultimate villain in this scenario, or these girls are bullshit. Kelly is defending somebody blindly. You got Pinch Nose stirring the pot. And even Shamia, when Shamia was like, yeah, I don't like people cutting me off. We saw the footage. Where did she cut Britt off? Like, these people are not actually friends, and that's the problem. These people are adversaries on a playing field. And Kenya just messed up. And messed up horribly. Because if she doesn't get picked up back season, I don't really know how she's going to monetize herself anymore. The hair care is done. The beauty salon isn't making any money. So what's left? She gonna go do baddies auditions with Zeus?
I mean, Nene did it. I don't know. You know.
I would
Um,
feel. I would
Wait a minute, hold on a second.
feel.
Hold on, let me read my super chat. Nitwit, thank you, Boo. It says Kenya was scared. She was scrolling on that phone like Ray was looking through Karen's purse. Okay. Diva, your camera isn't connected, so that's why I haven't brought you up. I don't know if you need to go out and come back in, but your camera is not connected, Boo. All right. I'm sorry,
Somebody
man.
said, why we gotta discuss their looks? That's what they discussed on the show. If you can do it on the show, I can talk about it here. That's what she called her. Am I wrong? She was calling the woman Latoya Jackson.
Yeah, they did have a whole back and forth. Yeah.
That was like that they chose to go that route. So I mean, whatever. I don't really like I'm so disappointed. If I saw Kenya fall from grace and have to do baddies like Nene, I would feel that would be like a gut punch. Because I like Kenya. But
Yeah, and I think that's where a lot of people like Kenya and they're disappointed. And I think, like you said, a lot of people know that Kenya was really in her soft era. Like this Kenya is the nicest Kenya I think we've ever seen. Like, so for this to be the season with this, I think that's what just a lot of people are coming from with that. So who was next? Hold on. Xavier, I think you were next, and then Gabby. Diva, you might need to go out and come back in because your camera isn't connected, babe. So if I bring you up, we're not gonna be able to hear you. Nothing's connected. Okay, go ahead, Xavier.
All right. Hey, everyone. I'm on Kenya's side with this, personally. Because I feel like, in retrospect, what she did was pretty mild. Because any other person, if somebody says that they have a pow pow, a different type of person would have got their own pow pow. And then we could have taken it from there. So I think, in retrospect, Kenya was very mild in her retaliation. But I do think that I'm just confused about why people thought that Kenya was better than this, or are surprised that Kenya took it this far. Kenya's always taken it to hell. She's always went too far. But she went too far with the blowhorn at the reunion. She went too far with Kim Fields. She went too far when she stole Vivica Fox's phone. Like, she's always up the ante. It was going to delve into illegal territory at some point. Why are we surprised?
That's a
I don't
good
get
point.
the surprise factor.
Okay, Adiva, I see
surprise
you now.
factor.
You can turn your camera off. I'll bring you up. I'm sorry, Xavier. She's been trying to get her stuff connected. Okay, it's still saying this. Okay, I'm gonna just bring her up. Okay, go ahead, Xavier. Xavier?
Oh yeah, I'm back. Sorry. I just didn't understand why Cynthia and everybody was going on this whole tour about how Kenya was better than this. No, she's not. This is how Kenya moves. That's why you have to stop playing with people. Leave certain people alone. And bravo, Andy. Andy, you didn't even know what you fired her for. Because in his because what she did was SA. And I'm like, no, it's not. That's not it at all. It's SH. It's harassment. So why would you don't even know what you fired her for. Why are y'all going through all this? I don't know. It's confusing to me, all of it.
I got you. All right, Gabby, and then Diva. I just put you on mute because you had some background noise. I'll take you off mute when it's your turn to talk. Okay, go ahead, Gabby.
I'm on the side of they both should have been fired.
Okay.
Because this is how I put it. With Britt threatening Kenya with a pow pow, that's like you threatening to hit me. If you threatening to hit me, eventually you gonna do it, right? Okay. And then the fact that Bravo took it and basically was like, okay, yeah, whatever. She threatened you. Okay. This girl got a whole family that I'm pretty sure she takes care of with the Bravo checks that she was getting. So if something was to happen to her, then, because like you said, not knowing who Britt is or who she know or who she don't know, you can't take stuff like that very lightly. And then with Kenya, the fact that it was wrong timing, wrong place, says it all. Says it all. She shouldn't have did it at her salon opening, but I mean, where else would have been the appropriate time and place? Because if you go out to lunch or whatever, it's still the wrong timing and wrong place. If you do it at a party at your house, it's still wrong time and wrong place. But all at the same time, I feel like Britt is gonna use this to play victim now. She gonna use the rest of this season to play victim. And you was right for what you said about, when you told us a few months ago that Kenya was basically fired. Because I saw her post today, and she basically wrote a goodbye letter. She basically wrote a goodbye letter.
Yeah.
Or exactly. A goodbye statement.
Right. And that doesn't mean that Kenya won't ever come back, but that means that she was not coming back this season. And I told y'all that, like you said, thank you. Because I told y'all
Hmm.
that months ago that she wasn't coming back this season.
Hmm.
People argue with me, child. They still arguing with me, but anyway.
But then I saw in her comments under the post, the same post that you saw the picture. Um, I saw under her post, her friend was basically justifying what she did. Okay, granted, Kenya was justified up until she decided to take it to hell with the pictures. Now, showing a before picture of who the girl was or what she looked like before, okay, that's fine. Whatever other picture she showed, I guess if it wasn't explicit, that was fine. But the minute you take it and you show her giving fellatio and you showing it to everybody, that's when you took it too far. But we also saw the buildup where Britt, since episode one, wanted to smoke.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
basically threatened her last episode. You threatened her. Regardless of how she threatened her, a verbal threat is still a verbal, it's still a threat.
It was a threat.
What?
It was a threat.
Yeah. She basically threatened her with a pow pow. And I don't know about anybody else, but I take people threatening me with pow pows very serious. At the rate that the world is going, and you never know the mental state of a person. Brit look a little too cuckoo for me. I'm just saying. But that was all I had to say.
Ma'am. Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, but Mims,
Really?
you up there twice. I don't know. Did you fall off or something? Okay, I
Can you hear
see.
me?
All right. No, I can hear you now. Yeah, you hadn't fallen off. Okay.
I got a
DB.
little piece of stuff that I forgot to tell you. I recognize Brit's manager. You know who else he manages?
Who?
Marlo.
Oh.
So if she came in with any preconceived notions, or if Kenya already had her guard up, that might have added an extra element to why she wasn't too keen on that. Because that is
Oh, it may
definitely a
have.
man that works with Marlo.
Oh, well, that may add a little perspective. That may add a little perspective. Because
Why am I
Britt
not
definitely showed
surprised?
up. She definitely showed up ready to have a problem with Kenya. Like, I'm not saying that justifies, but she definitely showed up ready to have a problem with Kenya. Idiva, you still here, boo? Let me take your mute off. Oh, uh-oh.
I am. Can you hear
Oh,
me?
okay. Yep, I can hear you. What's up, babe?
So, Jesse Wu did a live about the fallout, and so I'm gonna say allegedly, but y'all can go back and look at Jesse Wu's live that she did with
Okay.
King of Reeds this morning. She provided a little bit more insight to
Okay.
everything. So initially, when Kenya provided the photos, she was saying that she had, even in the um, show, she said she referenced a private investigator, right? She kept
Mm-hmm.
referencing private investigator. When Bravo opened up the investigation, Kenya admitted that she didn't get them from a private investigator, and she could not. She said that they were sent to her. So Jesse Wu
Wait a
provided.
minute. Hold on. Diva, I hate to cut you off. Baby, I told y'all that in June.
Okay,
Jesse, who ain't
okay,
break no story? I told y'all that in
okay. Oh
June.
no. That's not. I'm gonna connect all the
Oh,
things.
okay,
I'm gonna
okay.
clip.
So
I'm gonna
Wait a
clip
okay.
that
minute,
out and
man.
send it
I
to
said
Jesse.
that.
Yeah. Um, so Jesse Wu went on to say, and she provided a clip. There were two ladies. Jesse Wu said there are the peaches and then there are the peachless. The people who wanted a peach but didn't get it, but were filming at the time to be a contender for a peach. Those people were also in the crowd. And Jesse Wu, allegedly, uh, um, honed in on two two ladies who were in the crowd who were Kenya's friends. And allegedly, according to Jessie Wu, Kenya was advocating for these two ladies to get a peach. One of them almost came close, and it came down to this person who is Kenya's friend, who Kenya was advocating for, and Brit, or something like that. I may be getting it wrong. You can go back and watch Jessie Wu's live with King of Reeds. But at any rate, when Kenya dropped that third photo, everybody, yes, yeah, you better go ahead, JB, whatever your name is, what you said.
JB says what?
Yeah, him. So, when that third photo dropped of her performing, fellatio. Can you say that on the thing without?
You can say fellatio. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Thank you for checking.
Okay, because I was about to fellatio monis cigaronis. Okay,
you must have never been to one of her after dark videos.
Shut up, ma'am.
Well, so when that photo dropped, everybody in the room gasped except one person. And allegedly, according to Jessie Wu's live, you all can go back and watch it for yourself. She said that she was told that is the person who sent the photos to Kenya. And that is why everybody else in the room was at shock and awe, except this particular person. So, according to Jessie Wu, Kenya wasn't feeling Brit from the get-go because she felt like one of her two people that she was advocating for should have gotten the peach instead of Brit. One of them is married to like an NFL player. That is allegedly the person who sent the photos.
She's so boring though.
Well, listen, I'm just saying a little.
That would be the most interesting thing she ever did.
Yeah, but when I heard that kind of connected dots. I am not a Kenya fan, and I haven't watched Real Housewives since the season after Nene Leakes left. But I did start watching this season again solely because of Shamia, and I will say, and Married to Medicine is my show. That's Married to Medicine, and then I sometimes watch Real House of Beverly Hills, and that's it. But I'm definitely not a fan at all. I don't care for Kenya, but in this instance, I don't think she should have done it at her grand opening because that cost her. But I don't think she should have showed the personal files of fellatio publicly. But you can see, I mean, Stevie Wonder can see Brit had like a thing, like she was like fangirling almost for Kenya, and when Kenya wasn't responding the way she wanted her to respond, she, became on the offensive. I have never in any of the reality shows I've ever watched, any of the housewives show or anything like that, have I ever seen a housewife reference having a weapon or
before.
That's not true. They do it all the time. I mean, I shouldn't say they do it all the time, but it's happened.
Okay.
Heck, they're even bringing up Kenya doing it before, which is really irrelevant to this, but they are bringing up Kenya doing it before. It doesn't justify what Brit did, though.
I've never seen that. So my personal opinion is both ladies should have been suspended. I am in agreement that for what Kenya did in the manner in which she did it. Now, if she had shown, the girl, I think you might want to back up off me, because unless you want me to, make this receipt go viral, you need to back up off me. That would have backed Kelly down, I think. but that is her showing it to her on her phone, as opposed to publicly humiliating her and then costing her her job. I do think that at the point where um, the comment was made by Brittany in the parking lot, that should have been the point where she was suspended. And for me, I don't understand how Bravo says, oh, threatening a weapon is acceptable, but showing fellatio is not. I think for me, equally, they are equal offenses. So I don't know. And that's all I got to say.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate DB is next, and then Rants and Rambles.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yep.
I'm gonna turn my camera off because I'm not afraid to show my face. But
Okay then. All right.
I don't know. This whole thing is a mess. I just wanted to say, I'm in HR, and to me, it's like if I had an employee that came to me and said, this person mentioned that they have a weapon or that they want to do something with the weapon. um I can't just brush their concerns under the rug. I can't just say, okay, well, we'll look into that. Like, we actually would bring that person in the office and we would say, we've gotten complaints from witnesses or someone who said they heard something. We're conducting an investigation and you're on suspension indefinitely until we figure out what's going on. I'm not going to wait until that person has the opportunity to come the next day and then have a shootout, you know, at the office or whatever, you know? So I think that Bravo just could have handled that way better. But if I'm being honest, I think that they're just trying to do some budget cuts or something. I think, oh, I don't know what that was.
That
I
was my
think,
phone. Somebody just sent me something. That was my phone.
okay. I think that was just an easy way for them to get rid of Kenya. I think they were already setting up to get rid of her in a way. Like, I just feel like they don't want to spend that salary. Like, they don't want to pay that salary to her anymore. I don't feel
I
like they
agree.
see the value in her anymore that she used to bring to the show. I think that their priority has been to kind of cut the budgets more than, I guess, seeing how she can help move the show. um, and I think that a lot of their budget cutting needs to be in other areas, like some of this lackluster production that they have, paying people that aren't doing their jobs. Um, I think that a lot of the money that they spend for like these scenes or like putting things together, I think that they really overdo it, and they don't realize that I guess the big days of, like, you know, Nene being on the show and, you know, the core five or whatever, like, they didn't have to do too much. You know, they really didn't. So, and you don't need somebody at Kenya's caliber to make the show move forward. But nonetheless, some of my other thoughts were like, how do we even move forward from here? Like, what else is there going to be to talk about? You know, in the preview, all we saw was Portia and Shamia have their little fallout. We got the Drew and Dennis and Portia triangle, that whole debacle. And then we got Angela talking about her family issues. Like, this whole Kenya thing has been the highlight of this whole season so far. So I'm just curious from your perspective, really be like, what do you think these next episodes are going to look like?
I think that the ratings are going to fall drastically because honestly, it's sort of like the season with Bolo or the season that Monique and Candace Ford. Like, everybody is just waiting for that moment, and after that, nobody cares. It's really early in the season. We're only on episode 5 or 6. Nobody is. I really think that the ratings are going to drastically fall because we've all been waiting for this. It's been debated, argued. You know, people have talked about it since June. And now that we know what happened, people will probably talk about it for like another week and debate about who was right, who was wrong. But once Kenya is gone, it's sort of like out of sight, out of mind. Now, I think the conversation might rev back up when it's time for the reunion because I think a lot of people want Kenya to be able to come to the reunion. But honestly, I just see that I honestly feel like we're going to see a drastic drop in the ratings because a lot of people, and especially Kenya's fans who feel like she was done wrong, they're gone. I mean, I don't know. That's my opinion. I don't know. What does the rest of the panel think?
I didn't watch the season when that Kenya left. Was it like 11? I didn't watch it.
I'll
Yeah,
have
that
to
was 11.
concur, because if we all remember as well, they had to bring in Phaedra the last 2 weeks of filming. They don't have anything after this. This is it. This was the season finale.
The only thing that I wanted to see from this season was how it was going to go with Portia coming back, and the whole thing with Kenya and Britt. I can't even talk now. After that, I don't really care either.
Well, Cynthia on Watch What Happens Live, she was like, it's really
We definitely didn't need her back.
We sure didn't.
Definitely did.
Miss Boring could have stayed going, but she said on Watch What Happens Live, it was really disappointing to see, like, after all, she was like, Bravo has done a great job just kissing Andy's behind. It was really unfortunate to see that all the hard work you guys put in for such a great season and this happened.
Yeah,
and
I
I'm
saw
just
that.
like,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so you're just telling us a little bit early that this ruined the show. From your perspective, you feel like when Kenya kind of imploded the whole, plot of, this whole thing, she made everything just take a turn. So that tells me that after this, they could see for themselves, like, the show just went into a bad direction. But I just thought that was an interesting Watch What Happens Live as well, because I feel like Cynthia had so much she wanted to say, but she really didn't want to either offend Andy or say anything that would jeopardize her bag. But one thing I realized with these ladies is no matter what position they're in, they're going to do what they can to keep their job. And there's certain things that they won't say, and they won't defend certain people, no matter if they're friends or not. So, that's
I'm gonna say this. I think, and then I'm gonna say this, and then I think.
Did you?
Huh? I'm sorry. I'm gonna say this.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
What was that?
No, I said
When you was watching Watch What Happens Live, did you find it interesting that Phaedra never brought up? That Cynthia never brought up what Phaedra did.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't watch What Happens Live. I don't watch all that shit.
I definitely don't think she would have found that appropriate to kind of like give that stray to Phaedra in the moment. But I think it's that big, like that whole elephant in the room, or just that conversation around, we put Phaedra on this pedestal now, and she did what was like the worst at that time in Bravo history. It was nothing Andy could have done or anything to keep her around. That was a big decision that they made to get rid of her. So it's kind of the same thing in a way. People can argue whether or not one is worse than the other. But I don't think that Cynthia would have the guts to say anything like that ever.
Right. Rants and Rambles, you're up next, and then Justin P. And then we're going to do final remarks, because y'all know I have to get ready to go to the Whether You Like It or Not panel. So go ahead, Rants and Rambles. Thank you for your patience, my love.
You fine? How you been, friend?
I'm fine. How you been? Where you been?
Listen, I be in the bushes. I'm gonna give you one. You didn't help me lose about 10 pounds so far, because I play you while I be exercising in the gym. So thank you so much.
Well, hell, I need to play my damn self.
But yeah, this one, I did want to speak on this because I do feel like strongly about Bravo about certain things, especially in the direction that they're headed. My issue, one, I do want to touch on an early comment. I may be the outlier. I actually do enjoy the season. I feel like there's a lot of things to look forward to even after this, especially seeing as how Portia is cementing herself as the villain of the season. And like all the remaining conflicts will have something to do with Portia. Especially with the new fan favorite, Shamir. So there is something there to watch and be invested in, because everybody loves Shamir, is there with Portia. Homegirl got a problem with Portia for no reason. Portia got a problem with Drew for like a hypocritical reason. I'm still entertained. But as it relates to this whole Britt and Kenya situation, while I do not find any excuse in what Kenya did, and I have no problem with her getting the boot for it, my issue with Bravo as a production is we have somebody who did make gun threats to somebody. who we watched this episode go on an apology tour, but we also remember Homegirl was denying that she ever said it. That she denied ever having a gun, that she denied anything. Like, she kept denying before the season came out. And now the season out, she quiet. And there's still been no accountability. And for me, that whole apology tour rings silent when the person you were supposed to apologize to before you came to her event, you never did.
I said that last night. I agree.
I ain't no text message. I ain't hear voicemail. I ain't hear nothing. So for me, it makes me look at Bravo like y'all have been watching this girl lie before the season even started, and y'all didn't check it. You see how quiet she is, and you're not making her say a statement, not saying anything. Granted, I don't think that justifies or warrants what Kenya did in retaliation, especially if my thing is, I'm so scared of Miss Bang Bang shoot him up. If you so scared, girl, don't provoke something that you're terrified of. That don't make sense to me. That's irrational. I can understand the logic of I was hurt, so I hit back. That makes more sense to me. But don't sit up here and tell me, oh, I'm so scared of somebody, then I'm going to go ahead and keep throwing rocks at you while I'm scared. I can't throw rocks at you, then play the victim. That's my issue. But my bigger issue is with the production, because you're setting the tone of what this show is going to be in the future, where people can do these things, can lie in the public. We all watch the lie, and then there's no accountability. I don't want to wait to the reunion where everything has kind of been swept underneath the rug, especially how you frame this episode to try to put her as the victim who was trying to do the work, but she never did the work to the person who's most important in the situation. Don't go around talking to my friends about how I've been hurt, but you don't talk to me about how you hurt me. Fuck them. Excuse my language.
I ain't mad. I agree with everything you're saying, babe. And I agree with what you said too, Brenda, in the chat. Again, we all knew about the situation with Kenya, so I think that's what everybody was waiting for. And now that it's happened, I think that's another reason why you're right. People weren't vested in some of these other storylines because we were waiting for this. And I agree with you on that people were waiting for this. I will say this, and then I'm gonna get to Justin. I will say this. I really think the person we're sleeping on when we talk about housewives, when we're talking about traditional Real Housewives who are bringing I don't know how to put it's sort of like that first season of Mia. Before Mia got so ridiculous, but it was like the dumb lies, the silly lies, I'm going to hype myself up, but it ain't really what we making it out to be. The people everybody's sleeping on is fucking Angela. They sleeping on Angela because Angela got all the crazy going on. Okay, she got the husband who don't really like her, who embarrasses her every time he come on camera with her. She got the situation with her family, her daughter. Like, Angela really got a lot going on, and people are sleeping on Angela because we focusing so much on all this other stuff. We're talking about housewives and traditional what Real Housewives bring. You know what I'm saying? But I think maybe she'll get. I think as the season goes on, now that we're not so focused, maybe, but Angela's the one everybody's sleeping on, in my opinion. Justin, go ahead, boo. Thank you for your patience.
Oh, of course. So I think Rambles said it all, honestly, because when this first started, didn't Britt already started lying before this situation happened? Because she said that she never used a pow pow. She went around in so many interviews talking about how Kenya's this, Kenya's that, went on a whole apology tour. I think for me, when on last night, it was very cringy to watch. I think I was the only few ones that was like, it's just wrong place, wrong time, honestly. Because I think I was the only one that didn't really feel bad for Britt. Because, I mean, you poked her for like 4 whole episodes. And then now, I agree with Rambo said too, like the whole crying, the apology tour. And I agree when someone else said that she's going to use this the rest of the season now to milk this into something this stupid. And I think for Kenya, I just think that she needs to learn from this and grow from it, because all my good heavy hitters like Karen and Kenya are going out sad. Just it's just so sad. But no, Kenya, yeah, it was just really cringy and sad to watch from her. But I agree that Britt's gonna use this now for sympathy and all this and everything. And the crazy part is, did anyone think that Britt didn't think that they were gonna show that part? Is that why she lied about it in the beginning? About the pow pow and stuff like that? Because some people said it
I,
like they people didn't think that they were gonna show that.
I think
I
she heard them.
honestly think, and this is my opinion, and I don't know Brit any further than a hole in the wall. I honestly think that she was so caught up in being mad. I honestly think she just had diarrhea of the mouth and she was just talking. I don't think in a moment she even thought about it. I don't think it was until she got home.
She
And
was like,
yes,
"Oh
I think
man."
yeah, and I think she probably maybe she had a talk with production. But I do think she thought it was going to be cut out because why tell such a blatant lie? Because it's clear
Yeah,
in this episode that you say it'd be different if she didn't realize it until after she saw it played back. But it's clear in this episode, you said it. You
right.
apologized and you acknowledged it.
And I,
So maybe
oh,
production told her they would take it out.
and I think the other like issue I think most of the people have is the fact that when Kenya first when this first came out and Kenya said I was threatened or a whole gun or whatever happened, they all made it seem like Kenya was lying. They all made it seem like that didn't happen, nothing happened. And then she even said on interviews, I never did that. And then look, it finally happened.
Mhm.
But no,
Yeah.
but that's why I agree that Brit's gonna now use this. I do want Kenya to come to the reunion though and get her. She
I think
deserves to
Kenya
be
should.
first chair. She,
I don't I don't know.
c-
I think she should, and I think she should after seeing this whole thing play
everything.
out,
Yeah,
I think she should be allowed to come on stage. I think she should be allowed. Now, do I think she should be there the whole time? No, because she wasn't there for the whole season. But
I agree.
certainly when they're talking about the first things that happened on the first 4 or 5 episodes that she was there for, yeah,
Yeah,
and certainly they're going to talk about this. And I think she should be there. And I think she should be on stage in real time so the conversation can be
right.
had at the same time. At first, before I saw this play out, I said, well, maybe they'll just do a one-on-one with Andy and let her talk to Andy. But after seeing this, no, I think she should be on stage. And
Mm,
they should go, and if they have to do this segment first, fine, then do
mm.
this segment first. And then, go on with the rest of the rest of the reunion. But I do think Kenya should be invited, and I think she should be invited to sit on stage. Now,
A-
that's my
And to
opinion.
be clear, Kenya was fired. She wasn't suspended because some people because it's different things. People say now that she got fired from that apology. That goodbye letter. But some people said that she was okay to get brought back. She just decided she just didn't want to come back for the rest of the season
Who
because
said that?
it's either I just heard it on like different other YouTube people.
That's not true.
Okay.
At least that's not. But let me say this: that's not what I was told, and I was
Okay.
given inside information. I was told that that's not what I was told. Now I know I've heard somebody dropped down in my chat yesterday and said they were friends with with Kenya, excuse me, and that Kenya got an attorney, Britt had an attorney, and basically Kenya agreed to walk away and they paid her for the season. I don't know that person, and I'm not saying that Kenya ain't their friend. I don't know who they are in real life, but that's not the information that I was given. I wasn't told that she was allowed to walk away.
Okay,
But that's
that was all though.
but anyway.
But yeah, like last comment, yeah. I just do that Britt's gonna milk this whole situation now. Yeah, that's
She
all.
definitely is. She's absolutely gonna milk it. Bab, you came back up. What you want to add, boo?
Yeah, I heard a bunch of different conversations about the whole thing. I'm umming a lot, but the one thing that I wanted to ask people's perspective on, anybody who wanted to give their perspective on it, um, they were bringing up the whole with the picture that she showed. It would y'all consider her trying to shame a woman for that particular action? Would y'all consider that misogyny on her behalf?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't consider it misogyny.
No, I don't think so either.
Why
Yeah.
yes, why no?
No.
Well, maybe I don't have an understanding of the word misogyny, but I didn't know a woman could be misogynistic. Sort of like black people can't be racist. Like I didn't know a woman could be misogynistic, but maybe that's my ignorance on what the word misogyny means. So
Okay.
I might need to go brush up on my. I might need to Google it when I get off of here. But my understanding of
I'm
misogyny,
really big. I probably am ignorant and don't know.
yeah, I
Yeah,
didn't think a
but
woman could be misogynistic, but maybe they can be, and I just need to do my own. I need to read up on it myself.
I guess maybe they mean like that it would be coming from a misogynistic standpoint to try to shame a woman for a sexual act. But I just
See,
wanted to see what people's thoughts was about it.
I wouldn't consider that misogyny. I do think she was trying to shame her because I think the impression, because I think the implication is she was a sex worker. So yeah, I do think she was trying to shame her for being allegedly being a sex worker. So if that's misogyny, then yeah, because I do think that was her intent. Because again, if this were just her and her boyfriend sending each other pics or made a video, then but I think the implication was that she was trying to say that this woman was a sex worker. And so yeah.
Okay.
But but yeah.
Yeah, I
So
just wanted thoughts on that angle.
okay, somebody in the chat says she's reinforcing misogyny. Somebody said if Kenya were a man, then yes. So yeah, again, I'm gonna read up on it. You didn't stop me on that one, Bab. I'm gonna have to Google misogyny and do some research because my understanding of the word was always that, but that may not be. You know how you think a word means something, so I have to pick it up. I have to go. Women, okay. Shakira said women can be misogynistic. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
So I'll do
now
my research, but that's a good question. You just stumped me on that one, girl.
it's kind of difficult to moralize on the housewives anyway because they say all sorts of crazy stuff to each other on a
Yeah.
daily basis. But I just was interested about that particular angle. The only other thing that I wanted to say was I think that they essentially had to let Kenya go because of the legal situation that they were in at the time.
Yeah.
But
wasn't those
still,
lawsuits and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, those
Yeah. I
lawsuits
mean,
that they had.
Brit was listen. You know how they say the first one, You know when the police arrest two people and they say, listen, the first person that admits what they did gets the deal.
Pretty
I
much,
feel
yeah.
like it was kind of a situation like this where Brit did something wrong and it should have been addressed by production. Kenya did something wrong. Brit was the first one to get an attorney. So Brit got
Yeah.
the sweeter deal out of it because
Yeah.
Brit got the attorney first. Should Kenya have? I feel like again, and I know I'm a broken record at this point. I think Kenya had the upper hand in the beginning because production dropped the ball when Brit did what she did. And again, even the fact that it wasn't addressed, like I think the first thing we should have seen in this week's episode was Brit calling Kenya or production making
Because
Kenya and Brit have them go to lunch. They do it all the time.
and that's what gets me.
They
Why
do it
would
all the
you?
time, right? So that's what should have happened. And I don't think the rest of this would have happened had production addressed the issue.
And I don't like that. And I don't like that most of the girls are making it seem like, oh, it was like just words. I mean, she still implied it, like she said it multiple times. Like,
Yeah,
I,
but
and
that's another thing though. The threats and threats of violence and threat. We mentioned before there have been threats about weapons before.
yeah,
It's all been normalized so much on these shows that there wouldn't have been as much blowback for
yeah,
that
Mm,
as there is this particular issue.
because
yeah, I
it's not.
think
And it.
I
No,
think the
go ahead.
other angle for this is what is a bridge too far, because again, when you have someone coming to you about another employee, um saying that, and this employee is saying, hey, this other employee is saying disparaging marks to me, and the employer just pretty much brushes it off. But is it like something where they're like, well, we've seen stuff like this all the time. Matter of fact, we see worse. What she's doing isn't that bad in the grand scheme of things. You need to just let this roll off your back. And so the next step with Kenya's actions, is that a bridge too far now? Because I don't think
And
they
that's
would have
where,
done
and
anything had
that's
Brit not gotten a
the,
lawyer.
Absolutely
and I
would
think
not
that's
have.
where, yeah, and I think that's where it all stems from. It's like they didn't really do anything, or they didn't take it serious. Even when Kenya first came out and said everything, even everyone was calling her a liar and this, that, and the third.
Because
Like,
Bravo said she was lying.
yeah, yeah. Mm, and then I think people are
Oh,
making it. I think people are saying, "Oh, just because she didn't direct it, call say I'm gonna kill you or something. It doesn't really matter." I just think that's still
yeah,
dumb.
they say that until it's them on the other end of somebody talking about having a weapon.
Okay. But yeah, watch now. Now watch the ratings are finna go down.
They
It's
are.
and then Brit's finna now every other episode gonna be like, "Look what she did to me. She embarrassed me." Oh, girl.
I did want to
Yeah,
say one
I
more thing, one more quick
go
thing.
ahead,
So
Val.
I'm so sorry because I talked over you. I just
You
wanted to
good?
say, as far as Kenya coming on the reunion, I don't think that that's going to happen as far as her and Britt being in the same place, because that could end up being a liability too, as far as the legal situation that Bravo was in previously. So maybe they bring her and have her by herself, but I don't think she's going to be on the same stage with Britt.
Oh, and I have one more thing too. For someone who studied Kenya so much, she should have known the retaliation of what would have happened. That's the thing that makes me laugh the most. It's like you come on here and you studied her, as we've all seen, and you are now mad because of her reaction, I guess. But I think, like I said, for Kenya, it flopped because she did it when she wasn't even there. She left
Hey,
the
El
Right.
room.
Teddy.
Hey, Teddy.
Okay, I'm gonna let El get this only
Yeah,
because you my brother, because I'm about to get off of here.
yeah. I
But
just
I'll
have
let
a
you
real
have your
quick
final
question for
word
you, and that
for me.
just a real quick yes, or
Okay.
anybody on the stage.
Okay, what's up?
Um, do you think? Because I've been looking at some social media. Do you think this will be as polarizing as the season 5 Potomac situation? Because that was completely people dug in the sands. You one
Child.
team, you the other. Do you think that this will? Because there are a lot of people that are heavily team Kenya on this, believe it or not.
Team
And
swirl,
I
child.
wonder
Team
if
swirl, honey.
you think
Um,
it'll be that
I don't
polarizing.
I don't think so, and I'm gonna tell you why I don't think so. Because Brit is such a newbie, she doesn't have a as strong of a fan base. Whereas with Kenya, I mean with Monique and with Candace, they both have very strong fan bases. So I just don't know if they're. I mean, I know she has people that are, because there are people who just don't like Kenya that are going to side with her because they don't like Kenya. But I don't think it'll be as polarizing because people aren't as vested in Brit the way people were vested in Monique and Candace. You know what I'm saying? But that's
I
my
Gotcha.
have
opinion.
to
I
agree.
mean, 3 weeks from now, I might be
I
like,
agree.
I ain't know.
I have to agree with Really B, because
I
let's
agree.
outside of this whole situation, I can say majority of people really did not care for Brit. Even outside of Kenya, they didn't like the scenes with her husband. They didn't like the scenes with her
Oh,
mother. They didn't like the scenes with her sister. They don't like Brit.
cause
And I
So
think people saw why Kenya, because what did I told y'all after the first episode, I said, I still don't agree with what Kenya did, but I'm kind of starting to understand why Kenya came for her the way
and
she
I
did.
think after that episode played, I think a lot of people were more like they're more disappointed in how you did it at your business. You did it at like the moment that was supposed to be for you. But a lot of people, some people don't really feel bad that Kenya did it because it's like you provoked the girl and like you did all that. And people were trying to say she apologized. That wasn't an apology. She just literally just said sorry and walked away and handed her some
I'm
flowers.
And my thing is, the apology should have come the next day. Like if you
It should
really
have been
felt,
happened.
you talk to everybody else except for
That would
me.
listen.
Yeah. So yeah, the apology. But
I
again, I
just
put a
think
lot of
that
that on production. I really do. I put a lot of that on production.
people, somebody introduced on my platform today when we talked about it that they think production knew.
They did know.
People keep saying that, but production did
I
not
just
know.
can't wrap my brain around production. Maybe they
Production,
saw the
listen,
first placard or the second one, but I don't
yeah,
think they saw the
yeah.
one with all of that going on. And to
I
me, I
yeah.
just can't
I
wrap
think
my
it's an.
brain around.
Mhm.
No, there's no, and I might be on a minority. I was on a minority on the Potomac situation, but there's no wrapping my brain around. Even if you say the woman threatened her, I can't wrap my brain around you going to put in pictures of this woman performing acts like that.
Yeah,
Uh,
I could see them knowing about, like you said, the first two, but that third one, I just don't listen. I was told production did not know, and I believe my sources because everything else they've said has been true. So I believe that production did. I just do not believe production knew.
And
I
I even
just
think I
don't.
think a lot of people said like the look in Kenya's eyes that she was just like she was gone. I don't know if that was the alcohol that she was drinking, but Yeah, she was just gone
She
after
was
that.
enraged. She
But it
let
goes
her
Yeah,
to
she
show
was
anger
you that
take
you
her
irritated.
wasted
somewhere.
your whole child's college fund on
Right.
this
She let her
thing,
anger cost
and
her.
Yeah.
then and then you wasted the whole showcase of this thing. You wasted your whole
Mhm.
daughter's college fund on some woman that's not even there.
Yeah. So do
I'm
you
just trying to.
so
And not even that
as
she wasn't even there, El Teddy.
yeah.
It this woman, the way she acted the last episode, it's like you did this over a person who's completely unhinged. And overall, probably as far as the show goes, nobody is even gonna want her back the next season. So why would you
Right.
risk everything over
And
her?
I was
people have
finna
done worse to Kenya. The people have done
yeah.
much worse to
I
Kenya.
was finna say, yeah, people have done like out
Way
of
worse.
anybody, Marlo should have got that. What she Britt
Like,
got.
why is it this bad for this woman? And people have done way worse to you, Kenya. Like, really.
I don't know what it why she yeah, that I agree with that. I don't know why. But
Sharika said, "Have you ever thought that Kenya didn't want to talk to her? Maybe production tried, but Kenya wouldn't allow it." Then I feel like they should have showed it. They should have shown Britt trying to apologize prior to that event. I think
because
if you're going to show me
Yeah.
3 scenes of her apologizing to other people and
and talking
acknowledging
about it.
what she did, then they should have given us at least this. If Kenya refused to take her call, then show it. Just like Drew keep trying to show us them sorry ass text
Mhm.
messages with Portia,
Like,
then
it's
show your phone.
But like
Show
but it
where
was
you
and
call her.
stupid for
I
her to
think really
think
be
that
yeah.
event was the event to go and apologize. Don't come to apologize to me. I'm
Right.
having an event. You
Yeah.
can't pull
No,
me. I got too much going on for you to be trying to pull me
exactly.
to the side and have
Like I
these
said, I think
conversations. Not at my
yeah.
event.
And I think a lot of people like that are on Kenya's side mostly is more of the outrage. Like I said before, like when I first got on here, it was months and months of Brit being in the press saying that she didn't do this when
Just
stuff actually
lying.
did. Yeah, just lying and building this narrative that Kenya came for her first and amping up the more, I think that's what also even more a lot of people coming
Some of
outraged
that
about.
could be production too. Production leaves some
True.
stuff on the chop on the editing room floor. So
Hmm.
there may be some truth to that because production, they can build a narrative to make people, look a certain way. And there may be
Yeah.
something, there may be a time differential that we don't see. There may be, things that got left on the editing room floor as well.
Will Kenya be back next season is the question.
She might.
I
I
believe, I don't believe she will. I think that production made a deal with Britt and her lawyers
wrong
and
road.
said that we'll keep you on.
I do
And
think there was a deal made.
yeah,
What
I
I
the
can
what
see
believe
the
it.
yeah, I do think a
because
deal was made. Now, what that deal was, I can't say, but I do think a deal was made. But again, money talks and bullshit walks. If the ratings continue to drop, if people tune out, and then I can see it maybe happen. But I don't know. Again,
What's
I
there
can.
for Kenya to come back to?
Well, that's
I
true
mean,
too.
right? Because it ain't really giving right now anyway. Outside of this one
Mhm.
part, we was checked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Outside of this one thing, we were already really checked out.
A lot of people, because like I said, it was a whole year that passed, and everything was already yeah. So
Yeah. And
Outside of
just to
making funny
answer
of
what El
Tamia's
Teddy asked
helmet
earlier,
hair.
real quick. As far as the polarization thing, and then I'm gonna hop down because I know really be about to trying to
yeah.
get off of here.
Bye.
But I just wanted to say it's not gonna be as polarizing because there's nothing to get behind as far as Brit goes. There's nothing there to rally behind. She made herself look like a complete fool on that last episode. So it's like you can't be Team Brit because what exactly is there to Team Brit?
Listen, Bravo
And
encouraged this. This got to Kenya felt that she was untouchable. Bravo has been letting her do a lot of things over the season. The woman is vile. And so she has been made to, she probably felt like, oh, I could do this. And they're gonna be okay with it.
I also think
Gross
that
Kind of
was
like
too. I
Nene
calculation.
think
felt.
that's what happened in Kenya's. To me, I feel like that's what Kenya was thinking. Like
Yeah. And
I
kind of
I
agree.
like
She
think
Nene
thought it
felt.
was okay
I
because again, she went to production and they didn't do
I
anything.
yeah.
So
I
I
don't think
know
that
she
she
was
did that
thinking,
right.
well, he should again. What is a bridge too far in the Bravo land when I go to production and they don't do anything about my complaint? What is that bridge too far?
I agree. Okay.
Well, thank y'all for coming up. Make sure y'all join me over on the Whether You Like It or Not panel. I am sure the conversation is going to be interesting because y'all thinks he's one of those people that thinks that production knew So I'm sure
Because
the debate will get
I feel
interesting.
like, yeah, I think like someone else said, like I think they knew about a couple of things. I didn't think they were gonna know about the big old. But thank you, really be.
Thank you, Boo.
Loyalty.
Thanks for coming up. Yeah, I'm almost 100% sure that
Thank you.
production didn't know, but
Thank you for
you
having
never
me.
know. You're welcome, sir. Thank
I
you for
feel like I
coming
just
up.
saw you a couple days ago.
I wonder why you feel that way. Bye, child. I'll talk to y'all
Bye.
later. Peace.